G'day everyone, I've made this video about Hart Corporation so that you can be aware of what it's like to work for this company and the way this company operates. I'd like to state that this video contains only solid facts. Everything in this video I personally vouch is 100% accurate. The things that are my personal opinion, I will make it clear that they're my personal opinion, and I'll generally try to save my opinions of this company till the very end, but I'm just making this video so that you can be aware of how this company operates, what it's like to work for them, so that you can make an informed decision yourself as to whether or not you want to work for them. I'd like to state the first facts that I think sums up most of what it's like to work for Hart Corporation. The first thing I can really say about them is that 10 out of the 11 other ALTs I've worked with who've worked at Hart honestly regret working with this company, myself included. That doesn't mean they regret coming to Japan, that simply means they regret choosing Hart Corporation over other companies such as Interact, RCS, Borderling. They regret having worked for Hart Corporation. Before taking any offer from this company, I'd strongly urge you to go out and get as much information as you can yourself. Your best bet is probably getting reviews from other ex-ALTs. Glassdoor.com is probably the best place to look for these sorts of reviews, as it has the most of these reviews on one website. I'd strongly urge you to look at all of these reviews, not just the good ones, not just the bad ones. Look at all of them, read them all, get as much information as you can, and then make a decision yourself based on whether or not you want to work for this company. If you want to come to Japan and teach, there are plenty of other companies, so just because you get turned down by one, such as Hart Corporation, or you choose not to work for one company, such as Hart Corporation, there's plenty of others. So don't feel too disheartened if one company doesn't turn out to be what you think it is, or you don't like the reviews of one company, or you get turned down by one company. Keep trying and you'll get through. I'd like to start off by talking about their hiring process. Hart very strongly focus on brand new ALTs, first year ALTs. That means ALTs who have no teaching experience in Japan, as in people who are living overseas and they want to, they think, let's go to Japan, I'll teach English, I really like Japan, I want to teach English in Japan. They are generally the sort of people that Hart Corporation will generally try to employ. They really have trouble filling positions with ALTs who do have experience teaching in Japan. This is most probably because Hart Corporation do undeniably have one of the worst reputations of any company, any ALT company in Japan. Don't take my word for that. Get on Glassdoor, get on any other website you can find, Gaijin Pot, whatever. Look for as many reviews. I'm confident that you will agree with me after reading all the reviews that Hart does have a pretty bad reputation. There's no two ways about it. But my personal opinion is that that reputation is well deserved, but again, I urge you to make your own decision based on the information that you find yourself. With regard to what Hart are, if you are confused, they are an agency. They are not affiliated with the schools you'll be teaching at. The schools that you'll be teaching at will be public schools run by the local boards of education of Japan. Hart Corporation are a private company. They are not associated with the Board of Education or the schools. They simply supply ALTs. With regard to their placing of ALTs, I would personally, my personal opinion of it is that they do what's known as a drag and dump. They essentially drag you into Japan. They tell you you've got an offer, and when you come to Japan, they dump you in an overpriced apartment. It will be a Leo Palace. If you get your accommodation with them, it will be a Leo Palace, and it will most probably be very overpriced. And they will simply say, away you go. The way that they can get away with this is they get a substantial bonus for placing you, something that they will never admit to you openly, and that they will probably deny if you ask them, or that they will tone down, is that when they place you, that simply means that when you start working at the school, they get a placement bonus, of which you see nothing, and that placement bonus is about 1 million yen, maybe about $10,000, or close to half your yearly salary, and they get that bonus. You don't see a cent of it, and they get that for placing you. So essentially, once you've started working, they've made most of the money that they can from you already. So expect to see things like the time it takes for them to get back to an email go up by a lot. So before they've got you to sign that contract, they're probably going to treat you pretty well. They're going to reply to your questions, maybe give you prompt replies to your emails. Once you start working for them, once they've got that placement bonus, expect days, weeks to get back to an email, if at all. A lot of the time I've seen they just don't get back to these emails. They won't really lift a finger for you when it comes to pretty much anything once you've started working for them. That's why I refer to it as a drag and dump. They simply get you, place you in an apartment, away you go. They make most of their money from you when you start, and if you continue working for them, they get more money, the same way any other agency does. If you stop working for them, then they just go find another ALT from overseas, and that's the end of it. They'll forget you forever in the next 5 minutes, and that's essentially how they operate. It's a very easy process for them to make a lot of money. They bring you into Japan, give you about 2 days of training, and by training I mean pretty much telling you common sense things like don't hit the kids, don't swear, use your brain, just common sense things, a bit about company policy, very little in the way of teaching, and that's essentially what they do. They bring ALTs in, give them virtually no training, dump them in a school, and away you go. And it's that simple. It's a very easy process for them to make money from you, not with you. Make money from you, make money off you. It's a very easy process. They've been doing it for a long time, and they've gotten very good at it. With respect to who they hire, Heart do not have very good filtering of their ALTs. That's pretty much an understatement. They have absolutely terrible filtering of their employees. That doesn't mean they exclusively hire bad ALTs. That means they make very little discerning from a good ALT and a bad ALT. I'll give you some examples. One ALT who started at the beginning of 2014, he turned up to his training day without pants on, and he still got passed, and they still placed him in a school. So essentially he came in with his suit jacket, his shirt, his tie, and socks and shoes, but no pants. And they put him in a school. They put him in a school with people's kids. They said, all right mate, away you go, earn us some money. And in a few weeks, that guy had been essentially told that the teachers said they had enough of him. I personally met that guy. He was completely bananas, extremely antisocial, the sort of person that an interviewer should have picked up in 5 minutes and said, "Nah, sorry, we're not hiring you." Completely to the point where you could not even hold a conversation with the guy. Abusive, antisocial, and fairly crazy. So that is an example. Again, that's not something I made up. That is something that actually happened. That is something that happened this year. So Hart hired him. They placed him in a school, and in a few weeks the teachers said they'd had enough of him and they kicked him out. Hart have got their placement bonus out of him. They don't care. They'll go looking for another ALT. They'll say, sorry, we didn't know he was like that. We'll find a better ALT. and it's that easy for them to do that. Another example, last year an ALT got in a lot of trouble for grooming the kids. And the reason I know he did that, because I actually met this guy, and he, in no uncertain terms, made it very clear that he enjoyed talking about sex with his 5th grade boys. And that obviously caused some big problems at the school. And the teachers at the school went to the Board of Education. The Board of Education said, this guy's got to go. He can't come back to the school. He can't apologise. He can't get his things from his locker. He's got to go, and he's not allowed to teach at this school, at this town, or even in this prefecture anymore. Essentially, Heart's response to that was simply to move him. That's what they did. They just placed him in another school, and that was the end of the story. So again, based on those two examples, which again I'll stress are absolutely 100% accurate, they did happen. I personally know they happened. That is, you can get an idea of it for yourself what sort of company this is that you will be getting yourself involved with. I cannot stress enough that they just do not care who they hire. They just want to bring ALTs over, get their money out of them, and it's just that simple. That's what they're all about. With regard to their lying in recruitment, their recruitment process, they are pretty dishonest with their recruitment. Me personally, I was told, I was absolutely assured that I would get one school during my Skype interview. I stressed it to them, absolutely stressed to them. I said one school. I want one school and only one school. And the interviewer, his name was Ken. He guaranteed me one school, and he said to me, "Yes, I'll make a note of it. You get one school." And I said, "Okay." When I get to Japan, they give me 4 schools, and that was the way it was. When I questioned them about this, they pretty much said, "Oh, sorry, we'll check up on it. We'll get back to you," and they never did. But essentially, I made it very clear to them I wanted one school. They said, "Yes, we will give you one school." When I got to Japan, they gave me 4 schools, and that was the way it was. Another thing with the wages, they promised me X amount of wages. They gave me that promise in writing. And when they give you some documents to sign before you come to Japan. They're things like the Agreeing to Heart Principles, a few other documents to sign. These documents essentially don't really secure anything. The final contract, generally, they want you to sign in Japan. Now, some companies do this. When Heart do this, with that final contract, expect it to be different to what you agreed to. Even if you've got emails saying it's going to be this wage, expect that it will be different. It was for me. I was absolutely confirmed one wage, and when I got to Japan, they handed me the new contract, and it was less than what they had promised me. And the way they played it was sign it or see you later. In that situation, I was a brand new ALT. I wasn't familiar with the company. I didn't have anything to fall back on. There was no way I could really say no. So I signed it, and they knew that I wasn't in a position to really dispute that. So essentially, they could get away with it. And other ALTs, I know they haven't done this to some ALTs. I can guarantee you that they did it to me personally. They might not do it to you, but please be aware that this is a practice that they have done. They did it to me, and they might do it to you. They might not, but they might. With regard to some of the other things that the recruiters say, there's generally two recruiters that Ken and Kent, these two people have been recruiting for Heart for a long time, and these people, my personal opinion of them is they are completely dishonest and untrustworthy completely. They will tell you blatant lies in order to get you to come over and start working for them. Do not trust anything they say. That is my personal opinion of the two recruiters for Heart, Ken and Kent. Do not trust anything they say. They lied to me, they will lie to you. That's my personal opinion, and that's what I'm saying happened. They lied to me, and they will probably lie to you. A few stories that they tell you that really sort of get first year ALTs really trusting, really on board with the company. A few things they say to you are, one of them was an emergency help story, that little story that they spin that the company really looks after you. This one time I lost my wallet and all my money, and I was in real trouble, and I rang up Heart Corporation. They said, yeah, sure, we'll give you your next month's paycheck early. I can't honestly say that this story is a lie, but I'm 99% sure that that is a blatant lie. This is not the sort of company that would do anything like that. They don't ever expect them to give you an early paycheck, no matter what the reason. They might, but my personal opinion is that they will not. So do not expect it, and do not believe them if they tell you a similar story. Another thing they say is, in no uncertain terms, they told me that the average maintenance of an ALT for Heart Corporation is 3 years. I asked them, so how long do your ALTs generally stay with you? And they said, with no uncertainty, 3 years. 3 years is what they quoted me. Now their honest average is at most 1 year. They have a terrible turnover of ALTs. A substantial number of their ALTs do leave them before that 1 year, simply because of the things I've already mentioned, the other things I'm going to mention in this video. Being lied to, and coming over to Japan and finding things are not what they promised. So when they try to tell you that they have a good ALT maintenance, do not believe them. They have a terrible ALT maintenance. They really have trouble maintaining ALTs, and they have a lot of trouble getting ALTs into their position. So this year, for example, they have 50 positions across Japan that they have not found ALTs to fill. So they have a lot of positions for a school, but for a school to have, or a company such as Heart to have 50 positions that cannot be filled is that's a pretty big deal. As I mentioned before, they do have a pretty bad reputation. There's no denying that, and I'd say their inability to fill those positions has a lot to do with their reputation. So please bear that in mind. Another comparison that they do during the Skype interview, I, like a lot of probably first ALTs, had a very high opinion of the JET program. You hear a lot about the JET program, then it's really good, it's a lot of fun, they pay you well, you get to join in all these sort of events, things like that. And I mentioned this to the recruiters for Heart, and what they said to me was, oh yeah, sure, Heart Corporation, we're just like JET, we're a little bit less wages, just a little bit less wages, but simply we're the same thing. Oh, we also get a lot of ex-JETs, they come and they work for Heart Corporation and they love it, it's great, you know. So yeah, we get a lot of ex-JETs come and work for our company. Again, there might be maybe one or two ex-JETs maybe might work for Heart Corporation, but I'd bet my beard that that story is completely false. With the wages, is blatantly false, because JET do pay quite a lot for, they pay their ALTs quite a lot. Heart, on the other hand, probably pay you one of the smallest wages of any ALT company. So they often give, if you've got a high opinion of, say, the JET program, and you mention that to them, they might try to tell you, oh yeah, it's very similar to the JET program, it's very similar to the JET program, come and work for us, it'll be great. With regard to that, the JET program, as I'm aware, they do, they subsidise things like housing and some of the medical bills. Heart don't do any of this. They put you in a massively overpriced apartment of which you pay 100%, and they do very little in terms of setting up anything for you or doing any help or giving you any help. With regard to meeting people in Japan, that's going to be completely something that's up to you. They don't help you meet other ALTs. They don't help you with any kind of socialization or getting adjusted to into Japan. That's something you do yourself. They will tell you plenty of times that they do, but they don't. Trust me, they do not. They do not help you with anything that they do not have to. That is just the way they operate. Another thing that they mention is club activities. Say if you want to join in your school's say baseball club, soccer club, swimming club. They really play on that in the interview. Oh yeah, sure mate, you can come and you can join in with the kids. The kids will be so accepting. You'll work with their, if you like soccer, you can join the school soccer club and you can help train the kids and they'll love it. It'll be great. When I first started working with Heart, they within a few weeks of starting work, they sent out a batch email saying, "Oh, sorry, we might have told you during the interviews that yeah, you can join the schools, but we're going to have to tell you, sorry, no. So if the schools ask you to join in, don't join in, because maybe if somebody gets hurt, you might be legally responsible. We might be legally responsible. So don't join any of the club activities." Again, something that another example of things that they'll tell you during the interview. They'll play it up. They'll tell you it's great. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear, and when you come over to Japan, it'll be completely different. So I cannot stress that enough. During the interview process, during that Skype interview, do not trust these people, what they say. I've given you a few examples, and please read up on other examples. There's plenty of other examples online of things that have been promised to ALTs. When you get to Japan, they're completely different. So I cannot stress that enough. Please do not trust anything said during that Skype interview, because it'll often be lies, and if you call them on those lies, their response to that is, "Oh, sorry, it's you might be mistaken, or there was a misunderstanding. Maybe you misunderstood something. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do." That'll be generally their response to those sorts of things. With regard to the wages will, as I mentioned, my wage was lower than they promised me when I got to Japan. Their wages also differ from ALT to ALT within an area. Essentially what they do is they try to give each ALT the lowest wage that they can. 2 years ago, I know for a fact in Yuki, there were 3 ALTs, 2 of which were on 210,000 yen a month, and one girl who was on 180,000 yen a month. Now the girl, she was told that all the other ALTs were on the same wage, and that was a standard wage for ALTs in Japan. That is not at all true. 180,000 yen a month is a virtually unlivable wage for an ALT when you factor in an overly expensive apartment that they provide you with. It's a very terrible wage. So be aware that if you get a wage and that they tell you it's a normal wage, all the other ALTs are on the same wage, do not believe them. I know for a fact that they have lied about this in the past, and they probably will lie to you if they get half the chance to. So please be aware of that. With regard to their offers, they generally give offers very early. Once you send in an application, and it's very easy to get an offer from them. They generally try to grab up first year ALTs as soon as they can, and generally try to get you to think that you work for them. Generally, how they do this is they send you paperwork to sign, things like the Agreement of Principles and a few other documents to sign. These documents do not make you a hard employee. The only thing that makes you a hard employee is the final contract that you will sign. Um, um, you will probably not be given this final contract until you're actually in Japan. They might change, you might get lucky and they might actually give you the contract to sign, but if they show you the contract, that doesn't mean anything either. If they send you an email saying, here is what the contract will be, this will be where it is, this will be the wages, do not believe that. Unless it is the document that you sign, that is all that matters. If they send you an email or any other document saying your wages are X, your work location is this, do not believe it. Do not believe it at all. The only document that matters is that final contract, that final contract you sign in Japan, and that final housing contract that you sign. They're the only two documents that really matter with regard to being a hard employee. So with regard to the paperwork they send you, if you are applying for different companies and they jump on you and say they get you to sign all this paperwork and pretty much tell you you're one of the employees, keep applying to other companies. Keep applying to other companies. Hart corporations should be at the bottom of your barrel. They should. The only way you should actually accept any offer from Hart Corporation, my personal opinion, is that if you really cannot find anything else and you are completely desperate to come to Japan, you really want to come to Japan, and you cannot get any other companies, then maybe accept a Hart Corporation position, but really keep trying. Really do not give up on other positions, even if Hart Corporation say they want you and that they've got a position lined up for you. They probably don't have a position lined up for you. They will tell you they do have a position lined up for you, and that they can make it work if you come over to Japan. But please, just keep applying, and keep applying. With regard to something else in the contract, I'd like to go over paid holidays. They offer 10 days flexible paid vacation days. These are different to the 2 weeks during winter and the 4 weeks during summer. These are sort of flexible, choose your own days, 10 paid vacation days. Well, these are in the contract that I signed, at least. I don't know about new contracts. They were in the contract that I signed. They, as far as I'm aware, they are never given out. I've never heard of anyone actually getting those days approved. What they generally say is, I'm sorry, it's not convenient, or can you apply again later, I'm sorry, it's not convenient. They essentially don't give them out, as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong on that one, but I've never heard of them giving one out, and I've never heard of anyone who has heard of them giving them to anyone. So please be aware that just because they might offer you 10 paid vacation days does not mean they will actually approve them for you. So please be aware of that. Another thing I'd like to go through is with regard to the working visa. They'll promise to sponsor your visas, which they will do, but what they do is they stall on it for about 2 months. Up to 2 months you will be working illegally. Though I did it, all the other ALTs I know did it, and for years before, the other ALTs do it, and you will most probably do it yourself. They will tell you, oh yeah, sure mate, we'll get you your visa, just hold on a second, oh sorry, just hold on a second. You'll start working, you'll be teaching your schools, you'll say, where's my visa? And they'll say, oh sorry, just keep waiting, we're on it. When I pressed them about it myself, the excuse they gave was, sorry, the guy who usually does the visas is on holidays in the visa office. They've had a big shake-up of staff in the visa office this year, so they've got all brand new staff, so the paperwork's really taking longer, you know. Just don't worry about it and keep working. Essentially, you are working illegally without a proper working visa. Essentially, this is something that I've never actually heard of an ALT getting in trouble for this, but if you do get in trouble for this, this could really turn out bad for you. You are essentially working illegally in another country, so please keep that in mind. Hart Corporation will tell you, don't worry about it, no one ever gets caught, just don't worry about it, don't ask questions, just bear with us, we'll get you your visa when we get you your visa. be aware that it is an illegal practice that they do, and they have been doing it for years. They'll tell you it's okay, but please be aware it is an illegal practice. I've never actually heard of anyone being caught up on it, but it is something that may possibly happen, so keep that in mind. With regard to what happens if you're sick, if you get sick for an extended period of time, you are in big trouble with Hart Corporation. They will turn very nasty very quickly. They've done it to countless other ALTs. They will most probably do it to you. I say most probably. When I got sick for an extended period of time, they were reasonably civil about it. They pretty much, by the end of the week, they pretty much politely told me that if you're not back on work on Monday, you're fired. Politely, but essentially I got lucky with that. Other ALTs I worked with, one guy, he got a bad infection in his mouth, so his gums got really badly infected, and he actually couldn't eat or speak, or he was in really bad shape. And they harassingly called him up every day for about a week, telling him, you've got to go into school, we don't want to hear excuses, get into school, earn us some money, or you're fired. And they just did that relentlessly for him for a few days. Another thing they do if you get sick is they come into your apartment, and I don't mean come to your apartment, I mean come into your apartment. It is written into their contracts that if you accept their Leo Plus accommodation, that they can, without warning, get the key from the real estate agent and come inside your apartment unannounced to check up on you. That is something that has happened a few times. That if you get sick for, say, 3 days or 4 days, that they do pretty much come into your apartment without asking. If you do not use Hart Corporation supplied accommodation, they still may. I am aware that they have done it once. They came into this guy's share house. He lived in the share house. He was a Hart employee. He got sick for a few days. His coordinator came in, illegally entered the premises without asking, came walking in through the hallways, found where the guy's room was, and walked into his room to check up on him. That is breaking and entering, as I'm aware of it, but that's just generally how they see it as the company. You are their employee. If you're sick, the way I personally look at it is, and this is my personal opinion, again I'd like to stress that the way I would liken it to you being their property. If you get sick, they come to check on their property. That is the way I see it, and I stick by that. As the examples I've given you of them harassing ALTs with phone calls, coming into their apartments, both legally and illegally, should paint you a pretty clear picture of how they will act if you get sick for extended periods of time. Also, with regard to getting sick, if you get sick and then cannot continue to work for them, aka you get sick and for more than a week and they either fire you or you quit, expect that last paycheck to just be gutted. They did it to me. Essentially what they did is they claimed that the days I worked were for some reason about half as much money as the days I was absent. So I was absent a few days, and all of a sudden the days I'm absent, costs were charged at about twice the daily rate. So they essentially get the days you're sick and overcharge for those days, and then take a heap of money from your paycheck. So if you get sick and you cannot fulfill the 1-year contract, expect them to just take as much as they can out of that last paycheck. Do not expect them to give you a break at all. They will not give you a break. They will not be reasonable. They will not take circumstances into account. They will go straight for as much money as they can, and they will take it from you. They did that to me, and I've heard of them doing it to plenty of other ALTs. With regard to some of their claims of help, they claim to support their ALTs with living. aka if you need help with anything in Japan, ask our staff. Our staff speak Japanese. We can help you, aka translating a document, telling you how to do anything. Expect them, if you send them an email saying, I got this letter in the mail, it's in Japanese, what does it say? Or how do I do such and such? Expect them to just not even reply to the email. Or if they do reply, something along the lines of, we'll get back to you. That's how I saw it. You might find it to be different for yourself. They might actually try to be helpful depending on your coordinator, but that's personally how I found it. They didn't want to lift a finger for you, and they just don't bother getting back to emails. With regard to leaving early, if you leave early, leaving early as I mean leaving the company, aka not finishing your 1 year contract. If you leave, if you quit, or if you're forced to quit, or if you cannot for any reason fulfill the 1 year, expect them to win. They will come out on top. They will take as much money as they can from you. There will be nothing you will be able to do, and it will be both you and the schools that suffer. The reason I say the schools suffer is they will lose an ALT, so they will go without probably an ALT for a few weeks while Hart Corporation brings in another ALT. And you will probably get very attached to your schools. You'll probably enjoy, you get to know your students, and you'll enjoy working with the teachers. So if you quit early, it's the schools that suffer essentially. Hart Corporation doesn't suffer at all. They pay you that last paycheck a month later, so they've got plenty of time to take as much out of it as they want, and they don't really care that much. It's no skin off their back really. As I mentioned, that placement bonus, they've made most of their money off you when you start working for them, so if you quit, they don't really care. They're just going to take a lot of that money from you. They're going to keep your bond for your house, and they're probably going to charge you for the next month's rent. They're going to get their money out of you anyway they can. They're going to come out on top. Don't expect you've got any real power over them. They are going to come out on top in these sorts of situations. So keep that in mind. With regard to some things about their contract renewal. With their contract renewal, aka when you finish the next year, when you finish 1 year and you're there waiting for the next year to start, and you like your schools, you want to stay working, you want to stay in your apartment, you like the area, and Hart Corporation will again go through the bidding process with the other companies, bidding to the Board of Education, deciding whether or not they are suitable to be the contracting company that provides the ALTs for your area. During that process, they usually don't tell you what's going on, and if when it comes to the end of the school year, I would honestly have a backup plan, because if they do not get that contract renewed, another company comes in and gets the contract for that year, expect them to not tell you till the very last minute. Like a week or two before school starts, they're saying, sorry, the contract's not being renewed, please clear out of the apartment by the end of the month. We don't have a job for you. And don't expect them to have done the paperwork to set up your unemployment insurance. You are entitled to unemployment insurance. I have heard of cases of Hart Corporation not actually bothering to set up any paperwork for the unemployment insurance. So when it does come time for you to get your unemployment insurance, Hart Corporation have not filled out the paperwork that you need from their end, and you will probably find yourself in a bit of trouble with that. Now comes the point when I'm going to give my opinion. My personal opinion of this company is, obviously, as you can tell, it's pretty bad. I would honestly compare these people to a Yakuza racket. I'm not saying they're a Yakuza racket, I'm not saying they're Yakuza at all, but I compare them to any kind of racket. It's a pretty simple process. They lie to ALTs, they bring them over to Japan, they get a big bonus out of you, they dump you in a school, and if you're sick or something happens, they just take as much out of the last paycheck as they can. In my case, I personally believe that the withdrawals they took were illegal. That's my personal opinion. That they cannot overcharge for the days you are sick. That was written in my contract in no way, but they did it anyway. And as I mentioned before, they always win in the end. There's nothing you can really do about it. So you're on your own with that one. My personal opinion, or again going back to my personal opinion, is they've been doing this for years. They're very good at it. They're not unaware of what they're doing and the effects of what they're doing. They are doing these sorts of things deliberately because they know they can get away with it. They know they can make money out of it, and they know there's nothing you can really do to stop them. They essentially prey on first year ALTs, Gaijin, first year foreigners coming into Japan. They prey off you. They see you as an easy sort of money, easily exploitable, very similar to slaves, essentially, is what they're doing. I would really not advise working with this company. They lie unshamefully. They lie about everything, and they will be generally deceitful and nasty in any way they can, because it generally can get them money, and that's the bottom line for them. They're also very good at clearing online facts about them. A lot of the things that were posted, have been posted over them about Hart Corporation over the years, have been taken down. I'm not sure how long this video will last. Obviously I've only stated facts in this video, so I don't think they have any grounds to try to ask YouTube to take it down, but I'm pretty sure they'll try to. They've cleared quite a lot of online facts, and they will, in response to this video, I'm sure if you were during the interview process to say, oh, there's this guy, he made a video, he says this and this about you, expect them to just blatantly lie. Expect them to just say either I'm lying, or I don't know what I'm talking about, or other ALTs who get online and post their opinions don't know what they're talking about. Anyone who says anything bad about them, they're lying, they don't know what they're talking about. Don't worry about those people. That will probably be the response that they will give. But again, please double check my opinion against those of every other place you can find. I mentioned Glassdoor, but there's plenty of other spots out there. Please go and find as many as you can, and get your own opinion on them. I'd like to sum up by saying, please do not think that I'm just some crazy idiot with a chip on my shoulder just saying this just for the hell of it, and that I'm making things up. I really do believe in everything I've said. I'm saying it because I believe it needs to be said. This company has been doing some very unethical and blatantly illegal practices for a long time, and they've been getting away with it. Don't expect things to be different for you. They might be. I'm just going to throw that out there. They might be, but please be aware of these things before you sign any contract for these people, and please think very carefully about coming to Japan if you can only get a contract with Hart. There's plenty of other companies out there. Please do your research. Apply to every other company before you accept an offer for Hart. And good hunting.